Hey, welcome to our podcast. I'm Jolene.
And I'm Dolly.
And we're here to weird you out.
With sex.
This is the last of our episodes we recorded on our old tech.
It's also the most chaotic episode we have ever recorded. And it's the episode with the most technical issues.
I guess that's just what happens when you have your best friends on as guest hosts.
About 1/3 of the way through this episode, one of our mics died. So Jolene and I become really hard to hear.
We're super sorry for the chaos and the bad quality, but this episode was just too funny not to release.
What were we gonna do? Not release the Kraken?
Anyway, I hope you enjoy the episode despite all the issues. Dolly, what content warnings are there for us today?
In this book, there is discussion of the death of a partner, tentacle play, discussion of past abuse, neglect, age play and free use, demon deals, abortion, and interspecies relations.
Listener discretion is advised. On with the show.
Welcome to the Womanly Portal Podcast.
On this podcast, we discuss explicit books in explicit detail.
And we say fuck a lot.
Listener discretion is advised.
This podcast is not for people under the age of 18.
On with the show.
Hi, welcome to another episode of a Womanly Portal Podcast. I'm Dolly.
And I'm Jolene.
We are joined today in our studio.
You mean my living room?
That's right,
Yeah.
our studio. And I'm going to let our guest hosts introduce themselves.
I'm Marco.
I'm Polo.
You guys are, of course, professionals
Yes.
for this novel
Consummate professional.
by virtue of being my friends.
What novel did you guys read this week?
I don't know if novel is not the right word. It's, less than 400 pages? It's like a goosebump book.
Stream of I would say it's a sexy goosebump book.
Yes. Actually, yes.
That's perfect.
Perfect,
Is it
yes.
as scary as a Goosebumps book?
Yes. Wait, are you emotionally unavailable?
Sometimes.
Yes.
Does your mother scare you?
Oh, yeah, actually.
Yes.
This book is gonna be terrible.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Just like Slappy the dummy.
Terrifying with a big cock.
So
Is it a big cock?
Yes.
Are we gonna...
Oh boy. It's hung.
stacked. Okay, but I feel like we should work up to that because the fucking book works up to that.
Tell us the Goosebumps title first.
Okay, so we read The Kraken's Sacrifice.
Audience, I haven't read a real book in years.
Okay, full disclosure, me either. This is the first book that I've picked up in a while that I've sat down and forced myself to read.
So how many Barnes & Nobles did you guys have to drive to find 2 whole copies of this book?
I wasn't gonna look at anybody in the eye as I bought this. It was an Amazon click.
And now Amazon knows that I bought this.
That was your fault.
That was
That's
my
on you,
fault.
because you recommended this book.
It was frequently bought together with a dragon dildo.
Just a dragon or like a bad dragon brand dildo.
Complete honesty, I was the one that chose this book for us to read, and I chose it fully because of the cover, which is gorgeous.
Well, and it was really, because you just told me the title, and I didn't look it up at all. I was like, great, sounds awesome, do it. And then, like, a week later, I was at a birthday party, and I was talking with the other women at the party, and they're like, so what are you guys reading right now? And one's like, oh, I just picked up this really good one. Let me, like, look up the title. It's called The Kraken's Sacrifice. I'm like, shut the fuck up! So according to moms, this is great.
Real quick, do you know what the Kraken sacrifice is?
No.
Okay,
No,
alright,
don't.
cool.
His,
I have
his virginity?
No.
No.
Oh, his...
It's being cursed with a big dong.
So let's go through the synopsis of the book, and then
Dolly.
and I will tell you what we think the sacrifice is.
Okay.
Okay.
So, honestly, it's not a super detailed synopsis.
No, that book is like 2 pages long.
Yes, Catalina, the main female love interest, has sold her soul for 7 years in exchange for money.
It's not her soul, just her body.
How much?
Oh, her body? I don't know. It never specifies.
Lots. Like yacht money, people feeding you grapes money.
Yes.
Okay, so this doesn't feel like, this feels like it's got an obvious answer as a question, but already I just want to know, her body sexually or just like as a slave or like both?
Okay,
Sex
so
slave?
it is definitely sexual, but demons have great boundaries is, it turns out. So if she wasn't into it, they would be like, that's cool. You just chill here for 7 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's nice.
Yes.
I mean, 7 years is a long time, but just chilling for yacht money, that's not bad.
Yeah.
And so she ends up at this auction.
Why, by the by, not really an
Okay,
auction.
I was gonna get to that, but let's just get through this synopsis. Okay, and she ends up with the Kraken
Right.
in this story.
He's the highest demon bidder.
Okay, we'll get to it, because it's not an auction. Marco's right.
Okay.
Wait, so who did she sell? Who and how?
Oh, all right. Real quick rundown. There's another realm. Hell, quote unquote, or hell with one else. It's Norwegian, whatever. And they are 4 kingdoms that were introduced to 5, technically. 5 factions.
5 factions.
5 faction.
Like
Kraken.
Divergent.
It's got, this book has a Lord of the Rings style map.
Yes. Okay. Oh, we'll use that for reference really quick.
Oh, that
So
must
we-
be
is really
quite a lot
disappointing.
like Lord of the Rings.
So we've got the Krakens, where our story takes place.
Yes.
We've got the Incubi and Succubi, 1 legion, 1 area.
And that's not who she sold her body
No.
to
No.
sexually?
We got the gargoyles,
Okay.
and then we got the dragons, and then in the middle of all of this, we got the bargainer demons.
Oh.
So any questions about the factions?
Yes.
They don't tell us much, but
They
I'll
don't
answer
tell
any.
us much.
I'll answer any question you have about the factions.
Krakens,
Mhm.
Are they
sex
at peace?
demons.
Are they at peace?
Tentative.
Okay.
Okay.
We've been told that there's been wars.
Yes, we haven't seen any of the wars, and there have been no flashbacks.
That is
So it's just constant, like, tension.
Well, where would she fit the world building into Goosebumps?
The
That's
asshole.
true. Well,
So the Krakens, the sex beasts,
gargoyles, dragons are in
Dragons.
hell, and regular bargainer demons.
Regular
So
bargainer
she
demons.
made the deal with Azazel, who
Oh.
is a bargainer demon.
Right, okay.
And then once the contract was signed, she was taken to whatever this realm is called. We'll just call it hell, because
California.
I don't think they ever specify. I'll be honest, I don't think they ever specify the name of this realm.
Yeah.
North of Boise, Idaho.
I actually think
Saskatoon.
Dragons is book 1, but it's fine. Just cut all that out. It's
No, this is going in.
No.
It's our decision as guest
I was so
hosts.
confident.
We're just not gonna edit this.
Oh yeah, you guys do the editing. That's fine. So they're kind of at war, but not really. You don't actually know because Katee Robert didn't
No.
put in any.
But again,
backstory.
it is a very short book, and this is book 2 that we started with. I don't
Fair
know
enough.
if it's more specified in book 1, but I don't think it is, because all of the, I think 4 out of the 5 books, 4 of those take place at the same auction. So they all essentially have the same beginning, because we meet the dragon from book whatever
Probably
in
the
this
first one.
book, during the auction while they're auctioning finger quotes off.
That's pretty
women.
common in romance series too, to be like, oh, a couple from book 1 has a cameo early on in book 2, and it's always disappointing, and you feel like they're boring now.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So
Only-
it's just like a Jill Shalvis novel. Was he wearing cargo shorts?
No,
He doesn't have legs.
yeah.
The dragon doesn't have legs.
Oh, we don't know.
We don't know.
Oh, but the Kraken doesn't.
No.
They don't even describe the dragon, so it's a dragon, but it could be like a dude that's real fucking jacked and dragony, or it could just be a 4-legged dragon.
Yeah. We
That's
don't
Can't
know.
imagine.
No,
Or
I
could-
can.
Hell, I'm being ethnos, like Western centric. It could be a Chinese dragon.
That's true.
Those are just
You
real
are
long.
racist.
Those are real fucking long.
It's just
Yes.
the whole dragon. is
Yes,
racist.
his dick is also spindly.
No,
We
just his whole body is.
we know one character trait of his, and that's that he's kind of nice by letting the Kraken choose the lady first.
Oh, how gentlemanly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Kraken gets first picks.
No, he gets third pick.
He gets the
The other 2 immediately are like, I
Yes.
want that one, and they peace out.
Also, at one point, the Kraken stares at the gargoyle and is jealous of his hair. And I was like, that's an interesting thing to include, because at no point after that is he sad that he doesn't have hair, because it's tentacles.
Prehensile controllable tentacles.
Like Medusa?
Yes,
Yes.
but with tentacles.
Mhm.
So hentai Medusa.
Yes, that's, yes.
Mhm.
That's exactly
Does
how I
that
put it.
come into play like that?
It comes into tentacle play.
Does it?
Yeah, sure.
The hair does?
Yeah.
I was curious.
Really?
Yeah.
Just
I mean, he
be
eats her out, so it's like
Yeah.
there. So it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah?
All right. There are suckers. He's right.
perfect.
Great, cool. Because
You asked me this. Don't close your eyes.
was there?
No, I think it's the sound effects.
Was
Honestly,
there-
that you're bringing it to life in a way that it sounds like maybe Katee Robert.
Yeah,
God, I would have written a much better book.
we've never had a Foley artist on the
I-
show before.
I do just want to specify, I am gonna shit on this book.
no, it's fine. Totally.
But that doesn't mean that this book isn't for someone. It just isn't for me, and I'm specifically gonna shit on why it's not for me.
Or me.
We knew it wasn't gonna be.
I desperately wanted one of us to like it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Nah,
Should have flipped a coin
There-
beforehand.
I wanted neither of you to like it. So I'm gonna guess that it doesn't really matter a whole shit ton why there was an auction in the first place.
That's probably explained in the first one. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's implied that it's a peacekeeping sex slave
This
a
is
ceremony of sorts. It's like, all right, for whatever reason, we need to have humans here in this world. Well, it's the humans are like said to be very good conduits of magic.
For magic. So having a kid with a human will provide a very powerful offspring, which is important for the territories to have for obvious reasons. Like, you want a powerful heir.
right.
And the people choosing the women, or the demons choosing the women, are the rulers of their factions.
Okay.
Okay.
But the Kraken
Very
who
Fae-like.
the Kraken who
Yes.
quote unquote buys this woman is not the ruler.
He
He
is.
is.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't want to be, and we'll get into that
Oh,
later.
they never do. That's part of their charm.
We keep saying quote-unquote auction because it's not an auction. They just come in and they pick the woman they want. No
Like that
money.
scene from Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah, like if you
Mhm. But there's four of them.
if you were starting a Demon League kickball team, that's what they were going for.
That poor woman.
I
who
feel
gets
like there's
picked
more than
last.
2 people per kickball team.
Well, a reasonably small.
Oh, okay, all right,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
Tennis.
Tennis.
Yes.
Yeah, if you were choosing a partner for tennis.
You're gonna have a pickleball
It
tournament
was-
later.
It was essentially them choosing their partner, and I kind of felt bad for the woman that was chosen last.
Yeah.
What? No, she was a pretty redhead. It's
Yeah,
fine.
that's true, but imagine being picked last.
Who'd she get picked by?
Yeah, I'm aware.
Oh,
Oh.
oh no. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you were picked last in kickball.
Every
Or in a
time.
quote-unquote auction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
last time you were picked for sex slave.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dead last.
Like 7,
Yeah.
8
How
years
were the
ago.
last 7 years? Yeah.
He's so rich right now. Oh my god.
People
I
feeding
just-
him grapes all day long.
I fucked up. All I needed was some time away. So I didn't get anything. I'm like, dude, I just need to not be here for like 6, 7, 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, I got you.
Uh-huh.
And then
Sign
I-
this contract.
Yeah, and then I came back and I just got nothing out of it.
Yeah.
Well, you got a brain.
Yeah, that's true.
You
I
could
did
have
get a
at
break.
least asked them to lie for you when you, like, pick up your resume again so you can, quote-unquote, explain the gap. in
No, you don't need to do that, alright? Real quick is like, hey, what's this gap? Fuck you.
That's how you got your current.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you a cop? Why are you asking so many questions?
Me specifically?
Yeah.
No, yeah, you specifically.
Yeah.
It's a podcast.
I'm so sorry. Did I look angry?
You always look angry.
Hello.
That's why we love you.
Okay, but this book made me so mad.
Back at the auction, and he's like, that one,
Mhm.
and then they what?
They go to his underwater palace.
That must be really hard for
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Oh, wait, real quick. Catalina, our
Yes.
protagonist.
Catalina.
Thane, our Kraken King.
Thane.
Our Crack King.
Yeah, cracking.
Okay, that sounds made up.
No, it's not.
Thane? I've heard it at least once before.
No.
There's a dude on Mass Effect.
Did they all have tentacle hair?
No. Wait, who?
The rest of the
Thanes.
kraken?
No, the other thing? Well, this thing does.
This-
The thing from Mass Effect is just a scaly man.
Oh, yeah.
He's sexy,
I thought
sexy
you just
scaly
meant like
man.
a guy you played online with.
Oh.
Wait, he has tentacle hair?
Yeah.
Tentacle
Yes,
hair,
you-
tentacle
No,
lower
sorry,
half.
I was thinking like arm hair.
No.
Oh.
Head, hair, tentacles.
Smooth, just smooth as like a
Smooth.
fucking
Down
swimmer's
Just
body.
good.
Well, he doesn't have legs, right?
Waist down tentacles.
Mhm. He does have a dick somewhere in there.
He does have a dick
How-
somewhere in there.
Okay, continue.
No, you have another
No,
question.
I have several.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
I read this book twice.
was the auction outside?
Yeah, it's in
No,
a castle.
It's in a.
It's in a
That's
castle?
another thing they
How
skipped
did
right
he
by.
get
Real
into
quick,
the castle?
real quick. So this castle.
Sentient.
Yes. Are you familiar? Are you familiar with like Castlevania?
I'm familiar with Monster House, the animated movie from like 2005.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. Yeah. What
Okay,
about
then
you,
good enough.
Castle?
Does
Does the castle get the next woman who comes?
Yeah,
because I would read that.
I would read
Oh yeah, it's the next one in the series, Cucked by the Castle.
Yeah. Well, she's been inside him the whole time.
Yeah. This castle introduced
Finding the
Catalina and Thane before the auction.
How?
Through a variety of open doors.
What?
Yeah.
So the castle just like rearranges itself to send you wherever it wants, and it sends Catalina on like the longest downstairs journey ever.
That's what
Until she gets to the until she gets to the canals, and Thane just pops out.
He just pops out and he mean-mugs her so hard.
They fucking hate each other.
This book was weird in that it was a romance smut novel, but I at no point, not once, felt chemistry between the two leads.
This is not an uncommon experience on our podcast.
No.
Okay, so it was so frustrating. I was like, do they like each other?
The book lets you know no.
A lot.
Most of the time, they just angrily flirt with each other.
Yes. And they're so depressing.
And antagonistic towards each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this book, the very beginning of the book comes with like content warnings and stuff like that, which is nice. That's very nice.
Can we go through that?
I would, but the trope is monster romance and grumpy/sunshine.
Which one is the sunshine?
Okay, I was gonna ask that. I was like, which one of them is the sunshine? Because one of them is like self-deprecating grumpy, and one of them is just grumpy.
His husband died.
His husband died.
It's gotta be the castle. Castle's gotta be sunshine. Come on.
The only sunshine person that I could find in this book, explicitly explained as sunshine, as a light bringer, was the dead husband.
So the question about
Maria is also nice.
Well, yeah.
Wait, who's dead husband?
Thane's dead husband.
Thane has a dead husband.
Thane has a dead husband. He died 5 years ago in an unrelated incident. A dragon killed him, but it wasn't war related.
I really wanted it to be pirates.
You can imagine wearing that, like that dragon wearing a pirate hat.
Yeah.
If you do.
I am. Thank
Okay.
you.
And then Catalina has had on again, off again. She's had a lot of relationships, but both of these characters are bisexual or pansexual. It doesn't specify which of the two they are, but both have had male and female partners. And Catalina hates her mother.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
No.
I love my mom.
I also really love my
I know,
mom.
it's only me. I know. I'm only mad at her today. It's fine.
So Catalina has gone through like an abusive childhood because her mom is just she's like a diet culture mom. She would lock her in her room and she has like a phobia of that. And Thane has a dead husband that he is not over. Obviously, I mean, it's the loss of a loved one. And so these two meet and they very clearly are not in a good headspace for each other. So it's just anger flirting like Marco said.
They're rebounding.
Also, she has sold her soul, or she sold her body for the next 7 years, so she has to be there, so that is also not a great starting point.
Right, we're not showing the actual contract where it's not like a page where it's like, this is the binding contract. But the things we get are like, you're in the demon realm for 7 years, and you are in this territory for 7 years. They can't hurt you. If you have a kid, you have to leave it behind.
These sound like the Isaac Asimov robot rules.
No.
A little bit.
They're far less stringently enforced. Isaac Asimov's rules are followed. It's hilarious how easily she agrees to it. She's at a shitty bar with Azazel, and he's like, "Are you sure?" It's like, "Yeah, right now." And he's like, "You can't back out of this, Azazel. I already signed it."
The demon was like, "Do you need to take a second?
Do you want to read this carefully? Do you want to check with anybody? Do you have a house plan to take care of?" Signed.
Legal is gonna kick my ass if you say you didn't read this later on.
No, she signs it immediately and she's like, let's go. But she very clearly has self-esteem issues in that any time anybody seems slightly annoyed at her or what she perceives to be annoyed at her, she'll be like, well, I'm the worst person in the world. And she just kept doing that. And I was like, damn, girl, it's really hard to be turned on when I feel bad for you so much.
Thane didn't have that problem.
Thane did not have that problem. But at one point...
he didn't like her very much,
He
so
likes
it's fine.
the pity fuck.
At one point...
Hey, they go out of their way to be like, I don't pity fuck you.
Oh my god. At one point, she, like, keeps going over all of these people that have left her, like, not loved ones, but,
Fuck buddies.
fuck buddies, like, romantic partners, friends, and at that point, I was like, though if people keep leaving you, at some point, you have to look at yourself instead of blaming them. And at no point does she.
She does blame herself, but in just unhealthy ways.
Yes.
In unhelpful.
She's not
unhealthy ways.
reflecting.
Yes.
She's just being sad. Yeah.
Fuck acquaintances.
Fuck acquaintances.
Yes, there we go.
Yes.
Fuck buddy is too intimate. Fuck acquaintances.
Fuck acquaintances.
Yes.
Yes, I know exactly what that's like. Fuck acquaintances.
Okay.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean by that vibe.
It means you just leave a note at the end of the night.
Yeah.
It was good for me. Bye.
That's your rule, right?
I'm not sure if you have my number, but don't reach out. And then, like, you leave.
Yeah.
You're like, if I see you when I'm drunk in the bar again, maybe. But,
No,
like,
I will.
otherwise, don't nod.
I will run the other way. I cannot do this again.
Well, it's like
Where are we in the book story?
Kind of.
okay, hold on. Okay, so the house is trying to play matchmaker.
Mhm.
It did. It succeeded
It
in the end.
successfully made the Kraken just a little bit horny. The question I was trying to ask to begin with was, how did the Kraken get in the house?
Oh,
Oh,
they're
there's-
invited.
Yeah, they're
No.
shit. It's like he's not a vampire.
Did he use his legs
Yeah.
on the regular ass floor?
Yeah.
Does
He
not have to
tentacles.
just be
Yeah.
in the water.
And there's a part where they explain. You remember, like, I think the third Pirates of the Caribbean movie where they have buckets leading from the ocean to the land when they're all meeting? They also say they have a bucket for the Kraken to
Yeah.
stand in.
And he says, I don't need it, but I want them to think I'm weak.
She's all like, this is very patronizing.
Why does he want them to think he's weak?
Well, in case a war breaks out, the Kraken faction is underestimated.
I see.
Yeah.
Because
That was
if
like
I was going to underestimate anybody, it would be the Kraken.
That-
the guy in
yeah.
the bucket.
That was like the
So is
first
he just
fucking page
standing
in
there
Sun
with
Tzu.
his, like, one of his tentacles in the bucket, just, like,
no,
fits in it?
it's like, I say bucket, but it's like a tub. It's like,
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
he's
I-
in the bath in front of
Yes.
her.
I was kind of imagining him in an oversized fishbowl. So
Yeah, let's just do that.
Okay.
That's what I was
That
also
just
imagining.
rolls with him. He's like,
like one of those hamster balls.
so they set it out for him on a
a wet
fucking
hamster
Yeah.
ball.
Okay, so
red
then
carpet that got wet.
so auction happens. He's picked his sex slave for the next 7 years.
Regular acquaintance.
His sex slave acquaintance.
Yes.
And
There you go.
they go back to his place.
Where so he has to transport her via the water, like because it's an underwater kingdom, they have to go underwater.
Right.
And then the weirdest fucking thing happens.
Yes.
In this magical realm, she gets the bend.
They give her a magic amulet so she can breathe underwater.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, an
This
amulet.
this was my next question.
Yeah, an amulet that was traumatically made by the dead husband.
His dead husband.
Okay, so it's
She
probably
went
made
down
regular.
too fast.
Yes, the amulet was probably made regular, but like
Was-
another demon is like, "Hey, I got this. If you want to borrow it," and Dane is triggered.
Yes,
By saying-
because the amulet is his dead husband's, or his dead husband made it.
Yes,
Was the dead husband also a human?
yes, I'm pretty sure.
I don't-
Yes, he was.
It was
Okay.
the previous sex slave.
Yeah, was he the previous sex
Obviously.
slave?
I'll be honest, I don't remember.
I'm like the context clues are pretty much that he was human. Yeah,
Okay.
Okay, but it never explicitly
No,
said
I-
That would trigger him too hard.
yeah.
Yes.
Yes, got you. Okay, alright, so she's got a magical amulet to help her breathe underwater, but she gets the bends because she descends too fast.
Yes.
Yes.
That's such a rookie mistake.
You didn't know?
Nobody knew.
But what a... Okay.
No, ask it.
I just, if the dead husband was a human, then he would have had experience with this in the past. If he really cared about that guy, he would have known.
Humanoid demons.
Oh, right. That's what it
Maybe.
was. So, once again, thing was made by his dead husband, so
Yeah.
he's just, I need to go. So he's like, great, put it on, we're fucking bouncing. So
Okay, got it. He was just being an asshole.
he was being
Careless.
careless because he was like too emotionally
Reckless.
hurt by seeing a reminder of his dead husband.
Which
Gotcha.
is kind of like a really bad move on his part because there is a clause in the contract that specifies if you harm your human in any way, the contract is null and void and you lose your territory to the bargainer demons. So
This is the real reason
So-
the bargainer demons set up this
Did they-
whole thing.
Did they have to, like, because she didn't read the contract. She doesn't know that. They just have to hide that she had the bends.
No, they know that. They
Yes.
just like are like, no, it's
So
next.
that's
and
not
don't
what
worry
I
about
meant.
it.
They're like,
The contract immediately gets nullified, but everybody just like, no, it's fine.
She wakes up and she's like, no, it's fine. And there is magic to this contract in that if the human is harmed, it will like slack one Azazel to let him know that a human has been harmed. It didn't this
It's like
time.
my work iam is
Yes.
stinging.
my pager.
Exactly. In this situation, it didn't. The only reason he knew is because Thane contacted him. He's like, hey, this human got fucked up.
It's defective.
Hey, you sold me a bad human.
And then Azazel the demon shows up and he's like, yo, dude, what the fuck? You've had her for 5 minutes. But then it turns out the reason why the harm clause wasn't activated was because she didn't see it as harm, because she has been so mistreated, she's just used to being hurt. And I was like, I don't think that's how the contract should work.
So if you get abused enough beforehand, you've got like a harm handicap.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's a higher tolerance level,
Yeah.
so
It has
it's
to
a
be-
higher baseline.
He should have, if he had backhanded her with one or all of those hair tentacles, that would have been something. But
Yeah.
just the bends, which could literally kill her, no big deal.
Yeah,
You get hurt. You can get killed by a backhand. What if you land
That's
on your
true.
neck?
that's true.
Plus, that's a lot of tentacles.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I was reading that and I was like, magic shouldn't work like this. It should just be based off of this woman was about to die, activate the harm clause.
Yeah, I don't feel like her opinion should have
Yeah,
anything to do with it.
You're right.
Yeah.
Women's opinions don't matter.
Exactly. That's what
And
I
that
and these
concludes
other ladies
today's
are saying.
episode.
I was directly quoting Jolene.
Thanks, Marco.
I'm not editing that out.
Okay, so she gets the bends. Does she get better?
Yes, yeah, she recuperates.
She
She's
recuperates,
recuperated
yes.
from the
Okay.
vents. He's a gentleman.
Okay, and I do just
Right.
wanna preference at one point she sees him and she says, I don't fuck sushi in one chapter, and then in the next chapter they're fucking. Oh, and as she says, I don't fuck sushi, she gets the notion that he doesn't like her either, to which she was like, well, why doesn't he like me? It was one of those like, I don't like you, but why don't you like me situations, and I was like, what?
I would have spite fucked her so hard and been like, look who fucks sushi now!
Oh my god. Let me see. I think I
That is the most offensive thing I've read in all of
yes. It was very problematic.
No, she says it much sexier. It's like, I don't eat sushi unless you're into that. It's all just really weird fish flirting with her. This is bringing me on another point of her personality. She likes to like pretend she's not as smart as she is, which is really weird when you're already in the head of somebody. So she says for the bends, she figures out that it was the bends, and she's like, "Oh, I read about this once. You got to do it gradually, but I don't know the specifics." It's like, really? Well, what can you remember? And then she gives the exact specifics.
And she also specifies that she read it in a smut novel, and I was like, this is a detailed ass fucking smut novel.
Yeah,
It was
Well-
this smut novel.
yeah.
The
No,
actual purpose of this smut novel was to teach you how to overcome the bends.
yes.
She's just helping all the suburban moms.
Yeah,
But,
Katee Robert is a scuba diver.
True heroine.
Oh yeah, here it is. You don't even have to be scared of me, King Kraken. I don't even like sushi. And then in the next chapter, she's thinking to herself, and she's like, but that doesn't mean I want to fuck a fish.
Where she says the next part that I was like, that it's just really contrasting. Is like, I won't fuck a fish. Wait a minute, krakens aren't fish; they're squid.
Therefore, I can fuck him.
Yeah, well, cephalopod.
I mean, he's
For
kind
the record, it's a cephalopod.
I do just want to bring up, okay, page 29, she
Mhm.
goes, that doesn't mean I want to fuck a fish. And then page 30, the next page over, even the tentacle man doesn't want me.
So, I mean, to her defense, this man is not a fish. He is a centaur, except instead of a horse hat, it's octopus legs.
He's a cephalopod.
Yeah, he's a centilopod. You're welcome.
Okay, so first sex scene.
Yes.
Yes.
How's the sex?
Tentacly.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's this.
Why is the sex?
It's an apology.
Oh, apology sex. Got it. Okay.
Oh yeah, she's like, make me orgasm or whatever.
Yeah.
To,
Oh,
Like-
just like straight up?
Yeah,
She's
she-
like, you need to,
You
like,
make-
fix the
owe
bend.
this
Yes.
to me because
Yes.
of the bends.
Yes.
exactly. This
Okay.
is how you can make it up to me.
That's only a slight paraphrase of the exact situation.
Got
And it turns out that he's really good at tentacle sex. And it
just
blows
how
her
long
mind.
Practice.
And then he immediately dips.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a recurring theme in their encounters, that he just pieces out.
Once he's done.
Yes.
Oh,
well, once she's done.
Well, because he's a gentleman.
Yes.
Ooh, there's so much
Next week
detail to
on
your
this
notes. All right, okay.
I did notice you red penned the
Demons-
book, too.
Demons respect boundaries. That's true. That's set
Yeah,
up.
that is like a very big thing in that if your human does not want to fuck you, you cannot force them. You cannot force them to do anything they do not want to do.
I mean, that would be causing harm, but
Exactly.
I don't know if she would see it that way, considering her
Well, there
trauma,
is this
apparently.
one. So there are boundaries both ways.
Okay.
So the human has to respect the demon's boundaries too, which she immediately doesn't do, which she calls him daddy, and he very clearly is not into it. And Azazel is like, that's a hard boundary, Catalina. And then she immediately calls him daddy again.
Wait, I have a really important question about what you just said. Are they tentacle fucking, and she calls him daddy?
No, this is This is while they're getting introduced.
We're bouncing back and
I'm
forth so
so
much.
sorry.
No, you're okay. Okay.
Well,
never mind.
would this story make more sense if we told it chronologically?
No, absolutely not.
And it
No,
does not
no.
matter.
No, it doesn't matter. So, okay. Why?
This is all in
No,
the same
it doesn't matter.
section of the book.
It's all good. It doesn't matter. It's cool. It's cool. They tentacle fuck.
Mm-hmm. He
And
blows
then
out her back.
He blows out her back with
Metaphorically.
with,
Okay. I was like,
These are great now.
specifically about that.
Mhm.
Just
The clitoris.
thank you.
Mhm.
His tentacles. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a point that
which
they do.
ones?
The
Tentacles?
legs.
The legs.
The legs, yes.
Okay.
That's actually part of like
Tentacles.
why she feels a little distant from him, because he uses his leg tentacles and he's able to like
Push her
distance
away. Yeah, it is-
distance
yeah, 'cause
blaster.
Is he gigantic?
Oh, he's so
he's-
fucking huge.
Yeah, he's
He's
huge.
like a
If-
large.
If he was human, he'd probably be like 9 feet tall.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's big.
And
yeah.
just jacked.
Yeah.
But he knows where the clit is,
Mhm.
according to my notes.
She laughs. She's
Wanna
like,
watch?
"Ha! I'm gonna have to teach this tentacle man where the clit is," and then he
No.
finds it immediately.
Immediately.
Yeah.
With his giant
Feet
tentacle
tentacles,
foot.
Do his feet tentacles also have the suction of the
Yes.
leaves of his hair?
Yes. They're tentacles.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yes.
They describe that in great detail because honestly, that sounds uncomfortable.
He like
She's-
suction cups.
Also, she's
Yeah,
into
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
She's into it.
I mean, they do
Yeah,
make
just-
vibrators that suction.
Yeah, that's that's true. That's
Oh,
true.
yeah. Plus, he's able to like pulse his tentacles inside of her.
Exactly, which she's into as well. Yep.
Yeah.
It
okay.
just sounds like a weird, like, arm workout to me for his
Yes.
perspective.
Well,
Like,
but
he's
also-
just like,
I'm just
Mhm.
wondering
Exactly.
if this counts as a foot fetish also because they're technically
It
Well,
wasn't
okay.
tagged for that, so no.
Yeah, it was not, there was no foot fetish tag, so.
they're his feet though.
Mhm.
No.
Okay, all right. I'm just
Don't
saying I
think
think
about it.
Quentin Tarantino would like it is all.
So he dips. She spends some time in the castle. She meets his sibling Embry, who goes by Z Zer. Yeah.
Got it.
By the by, he, him for me.
Cool. Thank you, Marco.
Yeah.
And they're next in line for the throne.
Mhm.
Or, sorry,
Yeah.
they're next in line for the throne.
And
Thane does not want to be king,
Ruler.
ruler,
why
whatever.
don't they just work that out between the
Oh, part of the contract is that he needs to be
Yeah.
ruler for the entirety of the contract.
Yes, for the
For the
7
next-
years.
Yes.
So
This
he
is a hard
only-
and fast rule.
So he only accepted being ruler so that he could have a 7-year sex play?
Yes.
No, he was already ruler.
Yeah.
He was already the ruler.
He continued agreeing to be ruler.
Did
so
he-
could have this
so
play.
did he want to be ruler before his husband died? Like, was that something where he kind of cut himself off?
I think he's been the
He-
ruler for a while.
Yeah, but he clearly did not want to be. No.
They were already setting up for Embry, the sibling,
Yeah.
to take over. But then this contract came into play, and it would give them more power. So he was like,
if I just do it for another 7
Yeah.
years.
yeah.
So
well,
is Embry pissed about that?
no, they're essentially doing everything already that a ruler does.
Okay, so they're like, I'm cool with the system because I'm getting not paid for the job that I'm doing.
I mean,
Okay, Embry's a prince, a crown prince. You don't need to worry about Embry not having money.
well,
Well, that's not what I mean.
Yeah,
It's like
it
it's
sounds-
like when you
guys
do.
are skipping the biggest issue here.
Mhm.
If she has an heir, Embry no longer has right to the
Right.
throne. down.
That's true.
Isn't that is
Embry-
royalty different here?
Embry's presented as the best possible sibling ever.
So Embry's
Because
not
Embry-
that mad about this.
No,
I feel like
they
they're
were to
getting
have a
taken
kid-
advantage of
No, I don't know.
because they're doing all of the job.
The
with none
book
of
would
the
disagree with you.
Embry's very chill
Yeah.
about everything.
You want a kid? I'll be the best
I feel like that should activate the harm clause. For
uncle
Embry.
and or aunt or I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with the term would be for that. They'll be my favorite nibbling. That's what Embry would say to them.
Well,
So.
I guess as long as
I guess
that
you just say it.
floats their boat.
Yes,
Yeah.
because of
See,
the
'cause
water.
they're Kraken.
Yeah,
You asked for puns. I did.
there's not a single Kraken pun in this, Dolly. Not a single one.
I can't even. There's so many opportunities
Yeah.
for like the beginning, like
Let's get
for her
Kraken.
to just be like, release the Kraken,
Uh-huh.
like
Yeah.
like just terrible.
I'm gonna crack in that pussy. Nope.
Yes.
That would be great. This is not, unfortunately, not a romantic comedy.
That would provide so much needed levity.
Yes. That's the problem. There is no levity in this book at all.
That's what the Goosebump books got right. The levity. Okay, so tentacle fucking, heat dips, she's pissed, Embry's there,
Mhm.
being cool.
And then for like a week or so, she's just cooped up in the castle, and she's going nuts.
Can I ask you a question about the castle?
Yes.
Not sentient.
Just a regular ass, half water, half
didn't-
regular castle.
Even think about that. That is closer to what I was going to
Mhm.
ask. Is the whole castle under?
No, part of it. Like, the kingdom is mostly underwater, but
Uh-huh.
there are token pieces of land sticking out.
Does she mostly just hang out in the not water?
Oh, yeah, she
doesn't
develops-
swim.
she develops-
Can't
She
swim.
can't swim?
She immediately develops a deep fear. She gets thalassophobia from the bends.
They didn't need to include that.
No,
No,
it didn't.
but it is a plot point that she is terrified of the water. The first week ends, and like she finally finds something to do. Yes, first week ends, and she antagonizes the castle staff,
Yes.
like just with her presence. She's annoying.
Constantly?
She's
Yeah.
annoying. She's like,
Nobody likes her. She is not able to win anybody over.
mm-mm.
To the point where she goes into like the kitchen, I guess antagonizes the chef, or maybe he's just like really sensitive
Yeah,
to his
like-
area.
Yeah, basically she wants a job to do because she's like just bored in the castle, so she goes into the kitchen, presumably asked to like do something, does something, fucks up whatever she's cooking, and the chef looks at her and says, "You fucking suck, you're useless, I'm gonna cut you."
Yeah,
Jesus.
Just angrily, but also probably hyperbole.
yeah. I wouldn't.
More than likely hyperbole.
Still.
The mistake was that Thane was right behind
Yeah.
them.
Yep.
Got you.
And then the chef is dragged off somewhere, and Heinrich
Heinrich
the chef.
probably dies. Heinrich is no.
And do they have sushi?
At one point she complains about having too much fish.
Like,
What did I tell you?
So she gets threatened by this chef, and then Thane immediately gets like insanely overprotective
Yes.
to the point where he locks her up in a tower.
Ooh. What leads up to that?
Tentacle fucking.
No, it's great. It's great. Are you familiar with the comic book move of the fastball special? So that's the one where like a strong guy will throw a different person, so they'll cuff him first.
Okay.
So in order to leave he's like, oh, okay, too many people, too many variables. I need to get you somewhere where I can control every single variable. I have a tower out in the middle of the ocean. We'll get you there. This is where the explanation of the fence comes into play.
Yes.
He's like, this is how we avoid the fence. He's like, and then they just avoid it by him just going like 10 feet under the water.
Yeah.
Swimming just not very deep down. So it's not even relevant to have brought up the bends again.
No.
But once again, she's developed thalassophobia, so she's terrified. So, and he's cupping her, and he's like, man, how do I solve her being scared in the middle of the ocean? Polo, you have your hand raised.
He fingers her.
While swimming?
Yes.
While she's
That was some multitasking.
while she's full on panicking
Does-
underwater,
does-
he's fingering her.
Does he finger her or does he tentacle her?
No, he fingers her.
I mean,
His human-
thumbs aren't technically fingers. Yeah.
He sticks just
Like she's a bowling ball.
Yeah, he bowling balls her.
Yes.
To calm her down. she's like full on about to have.
Yes.
It does.
Yeah,
It distracts
absolutely.
her.
Do they mention lube? Because
They're using nature's lube, the ocean.
Whatever mucus he excretes from his tentacles.
No, from his fingers.
Oh, from his fingers.
good oil.
Yeah.
Because, like, water is notoriously a terrible lubricant.
Yeah.
That's why shower sex is not always a good idea.
And hot tub sex is a terrible idea.
Oh, that's
That
good to
and
know.
the
I'm taking
bacteria.
notes.
Yeah, you should take
Yeah.
You don't like
Eat an
hot tubs
actual-
anyway.
I hate hot tubs. They're disgusting.
They
No
are.
offense. They're
No,
just...
you'll get a weird yeast infection.
You really are going to offend all the hot tubs in the hobby.
Actually, hot tubs are our number one listeners.
Oh my god!
Shit.
Damn, I ruined this for us all. So he finger blasts her. They get to his underwater tower, which actually is his home. It's his pad. He doesn't, like, he works out of the castle, but I guess he doesn't really live in the castle. He lives in this tower.
He's just visiting.
And so they come out of the water after the fingering. She's like, oh my god, thank god. And then he just leaves her.
No.
What?
Like a gentleman, he eats her out.
Oh, he eats her out.
He's like, the book does a terrible job
You're
of
so
the
good.
transition. Because, like, it's like, oh, fingering, she's in my mouth.
You're so good at remembering the sex scenes. I feel like I forgot every single one of those.
Once again, this is where the tentacle hair comes into play, because that's what he uses to tease her clit this time around.
Honestly, that kind of sounds like it could be an exciting sex scene to read it.
Yeah. Like, there was, I still don't understand, like, how, well, obviously, he's strong, so he just picked her up and put her right here. And then tentacles, once
like
again.
a bowling ball?
Yeah, like he's
failed to release.
yes.
And she's there.
Yeah. Bowling ball cupping her, like, you know.
And how long is his hair? Because if it's really long, then it can,
it's like shoulder length.
Well, it can come around and like be all.
Yeah, here's a picture. It goes down to, like, his nipple.
Yeah.
He's got some.
And her face is tiny compared to his.
He's very big compared
Yeah.
to her. There's a size
She
difference.
could have tentacle hair coming up all around her legs. Those are all sensitive areas.
Yeah.
She was really into it.
Yes.
I'm sure.
So into it, and then she comes
How many times?
once, just the once.
It was hard. Like,
yeah,
it was,
she was like, I
it was-
nearly passed out.
yeah.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
And then he leaves her. And he
Nice.
just for
The whole
Big
building-
into aftercare, I see.
yeah.
Not
Yeah.
just the room, but he like leaves her stranded in the middle of the ocean.
He leaves her in this tower. Yeah, he just dips. He goes back to the other castle. There are two women that are supposed to watch her in this tower. They assume that she's like a cast out, and so they
She didn't make the cut.
Yeah, essentially, she's here alone with these two women. Well, I say she's mostly alone. These two women like barely show up. They
Are they
feed
also
her.
Krakens?
Yes,
It's not explained.
it's not explained, but I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I'm
Because
assuming.
it's his kingdom.
They're either merfolk or kraken,
Yeah.
but so we'll say kraken.
Whenever it's not explained if they are a kraken, I am assuming they look like the fish people that are the background characters in SpongeBob.
Yeah.
No,
just do
it's
that. No,
more
my
like One
leg.
Piece.
Like one.
One, two, they're all ugly fish people.
So he leaves her at the bottom of this tower with these two women, and she has to. Apparently, it's a very tall tower because she's like climbing up these stairs, and she's like, my legs. And she finally gets to a bedroom. It's covered in dust. It's like a guest room or whatever.
Underwater?
No, it's not underwater.
Okay.
It's a tower.
I continue to be confused.
Yeah, it is very.
Things are in this
It-
kraken community.
And he doesn't. She doesn't have any clothing, like additional clothing,
No.
just the wet dress that she's in.
Good. Both kinds of what?
Only naked.
It's like a dusty, gross bedroom that hasn't been taken care of that she's like sleeping in. And he comes.
Keep going, search for his bedroom.
You know
I
what?
feel like, no, that one's clean.
We'll come back to that.
Yes. She then is only, because they assume she's a castaway, these two women only feed her plain bread for a week.
Well, she wouldn't stop bitching about the fish.
Yeah.
So she goes through this, like,
She is put in ISO.
yeah, essentially.
This is fucking literal torture that she's put in for a week.
Because she's had so much trauma in her past, the harm clauses and actions.
For the record,
Exactly.
this part is not mentally exploded with her. It gets yada yada.
Yada,
They
yada.
do not talk about the fact of how she feels being abandoned for a while.
Yes,
Wait,
and she also has like a phobia of being locked in rooms because that's what her mother used to do, and so she's essentially just trapped in this tower without anywhere to
I
go.
don't think the author likes this character.
no, I don't think she likes either of them.
I feel like the author hates this woman.
This was actually her her middle school bully.
Yeah.
She wrote into this and she's like,
so
that might explain, like, there was this, like, just kind of weird whiplash I get from this. This is a short book, so anytime the character just adds radically different, it was very noticeable to me.
Yeah.
Like, at one point, she acts very mature, but she's also very aggressively flirty. But before they head to the tower, she asks for uppies from him.
Oh yeah, give me uppies. Give me
so that I can be wired during my endless
No, like, just uppies, like, carrying her, not, like, uppers.
No, okay.
She doesn't ask for meth. She asks just to, like, get picked up.
She asked it that way.
Yes, uppies. So the word uppies is literally in this book 3 times.
Which is what yeah.
So this is what the book actually meant by age limit.
Yeah.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Her saying, give me uppies. Yeah, I'm so sorry. In this book, they're so mistreated, both of these characters, to the point, again, where it was not fun reading this book because I felt so bad for both of the characters, but mainly Catalina, because she goes through literal torture.
Mm-hmm.
It's torture that she goes through, and it kind of gets better.
Yes, but once again, the book does not explore her mindset during this week.
No.
It cuts back to Thane, and then he's arriving. He's like, what the fuck's up with Catalina? He's like, we assumed that you had abandoned her here, so we didn't interact with her, and we only fed her bread. Yeah. Which can only imply that he has done this before. Like, if this is their default, this is his house once again. So his 2 main servants that he trusts dearly more than anything in this world, as professionals, he leaves them to them. He's like, whatever they're gonna do, it's what I think they know what to do. And what they know to do is to feed her bread and not interact with her.
And they did not hesitate. This was like their gut reaction.
Like, yes.
Like, based on what my job is like day to day, the correct option here is abuse and neglect this one.
Yes. And at one point, one of the servants is asked, did you feed her? And she's like, I'm not a monster. Of course I fed her. And then the other servant is like, it was stale bread.
I don't...
But he did not...
This is his house, and their assumption is, oh, he brought her here to neglect her.
Yeah, and he did not leave further instructions.
No, he just...
No, he
ate her out, gave her a mind-breaking orgasm, and then was like, peace out.
The whiplash that would have to be from, like, not only that he doesn't do any sort of aftercare, but this idea that he's like, I will ruin you for all other people. Like, you're gonna only want my orgasms with my suction ability.
Okay.
And then he's like, get tortured!
Get fucked and then get fucked.
You say that, but this man is actively fighting himself mentally not to fuck this woman.
Yeah. He's into her.
Okay.
Every single one of their actual conversations is antagonistic.
Why does he want to prevent himself from fucking?
Because he's still in love with his husband.
His dead husband.
He doesn't want to betray the memory of his dead husband. He loves Brant too much.
Yeah. But he feels
Brant.
Yeah,
he's not some asshole. B-R-A-N-T.
B-R-A-N-T.
Yeah, it has to be like a little white boy. Like, who else is named Brant?
But he the second he sees her, like, in the beginning, it's like an instant attraction for him that he spends, I want to say, like, 85% of the book fighting.
Are we talking, like, that scene from, not the book, but the movie, where Robert Pattinson looks like he's gonna vomit every time he sees Bella in class because he just wants her so much that it makes him want to barf.
His internal monologue is weird because it's at the beginning it's all like, look at this bitch all hot and shit. What's her problem? And then it moves, and then
me to make her get off.
And then it moves.
Where does she get off?
And then it moves on to she breasted boobily in the moonlight.
So many.
Do they talk about her boobs though?
Yes.
Yes.
He loves her tits.
He loves her tits.
We all love her.
Where's the breasted boobily line?
There's a few.
My favorite was, so he's trying to avoid looking at her legs because her dress is torn, and it rides up, so I guess you can see her bush. But
the Kraken is super into her human legs.
Yeah, so he's like, alright, I gotta avoid not looking at her vagina, so let's keep it up. It's like, I'm gonna look at her from the neck up. It's like, fuck, I fucked up, I'm staring at her tits. And then... Her generous curves. Look, one tiny tug from bursting free.
He is attracted to, like, every single bit of this woman. Like, from top down, he's into it, but he refuses to acknowledge it, and it makes things so bad for Catalina.
Every bit of him, like, I can't hook up with her. It's gonna be like I'm cheating on my husband. So he does hook up with her, but also he emotionally and physically neglects her.
Yes.
Well, they don't emotionally explore Catalina's mindset, but it sounds like
They do, just not during that weird week where she gets neglected.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
which is the week of torture.
Yes. It seems like an important thing to yada yada.
Yeah. Okay. Then let's jump forward to when he realizes.
Oh yeah, she
Yada,
comes
yada.
back. She comes back. He comes back. He's like, "Hey, how's the week been?" He's like, "We have her fed." He's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And then like one of the demons who's supposed to check up on her shows up. Oh, that's right. That's why Romanu, another demon,
Yeah.
shows up and says, "Hey, I can't check up on Catalina. I'm supposed to be able to magically show up where she is. What the fuck's going on?" Oh, right. There's a ward on my tower. Let's go check it out. So they go check it out. He gives Romanu the ability to walk into the tower whenever they please. And this is where we find out that she's just been neglected for a whole week. And once again, the question of, is this harm comes up. And Catalina is like, no, it's fine.
Yes.
I like bread.
Bread's my favorite.
And once again, Thane's all like, oh, fuck, I didn't mean to. Oh, shit, whoopsie daisies. Oh, fuck, let's get her fed. Can we get some clothes for her?
We just
Guys, please.
She makes sushi.
Ooh, this room is so dusty. There's more rooms.
Fine, I'll just fuck her.
Yeah, in the book it says, oh, that's why the contract wasn't triggered the first day. You expect to be hurt, so it barely registers when it happens.
That's so
I do too, because I don't think that's how, I feel like that's, as if I were a bargainer demon, I'd be like, that's a huge liability on my part
Yeah, that's
if it goes
illegal.
based off of what the person thinks.
It's terrible to
You want any iteration of harm, like I would want severe harm to flag, even if the person does not see it as severe harm to
Let's
themselves.
just make the most vulnerable people the most likely to just
All right.
Yeah, but also rejection is a true form of like human harm.
The book doesn't agree with you.
The fact that she has rejection dysphoria, like every time she's like, everyone hates me, like,
And then
Yep.
every time she comes, this guy ditches
Ditches
out like
her.
it hurt his feelings
Yeah.
that she came.
She also has huge problems because he keeps leaving. She has also had people that she has been in romantic relationships with that essentially she goes through this pattern with them in that she becomes too much for them and they end up leaving. Or she feels like she is too much for them.
So the night that he comes back, he's like, I'm sorry, how can I make this up to you? Guess.
Dang it.
Yeah.
I would
No, once
like
again, they don't
more
fuck. Once again, this is just more tentacle play.
play.
They don't.
He hasn't gotten off.
No.
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 We have not.
He probably jerks
Yeah,
off
he
afterwards.
probably does jerk it.
We have not even met his weird wiener yet.
No,
No.
we've heard
It's-
allusions to it.
It's prehensile. I only knew that going into it because it's one of the tags at the beginning of
It's
the book.
prehensile cock.
It's a great series of tags.
What does that mean?
It means it can move like a tail, you know? It's
Yeah.
prehensile.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He can take his wiener and go. Oh, yeah.
There's
If
this
he wants to.
There's this series of tags that I absolutely love. It goes, he can't just fuck self-confidence into me, but can't hurt to try, comma, prehensile cock.
They're unrelated, but they're also not unrelated.
No, because,
Well, in terms of tags, I'll fuck the brat right out of you.
uh-huh,
Widower.
widower.
Party girl covering up how empty she feels.
Oh.
I got hurt and decided emotions are for the birds, so I won't feel them anymore. That is a lie. She has plenty of emotions.
Maybe that is for him.
He has plenty of
It
emotions.
could be either of them, to be honest.
I would leave
Describe.
both of them.
Both of them have so many fucking feelings.
Again, none of these two people are the sunshine one in this relationship.
I'm sure that
Forced proximity is another one I have, questions about, because...
he keeps leaving.
Well, exactly.
They're never in the same room if they're not like.
If you don't give me attention, I will make you give me attention.
There is also this reoccurring thing where when it's his perspective, because it jumps between the two of them each chapter, he always psychoanalyzes her.
Yeah.
He's like,
Oh, she's so hurt like I am.
or what does that smile mean? I can see a lie through it.
He's thinking too.
This smile isn't a lie, but it is a mask.
It is a mask. Yeah, at one point he does say
That's a
the word
direct quote.
mask.
Yeah, that's a direct quote. Ooh,
A different book by this author, and I feel like she wrote that too.
ooh, auction.
Love
Which,
that.
once again, auction's not the thing that
It wasn't an auction.
Tentacles make everything better.
It kind of sounds like
It
a lot
didn't.
of these tags are technicalities.
Yeah, I would.
Here's the one where I get fucked up. Orgasms are definitely the proper response to terror. That was once again the bowling ball
Yeah.
scene.
Yes.
Let me teach you how to swim. Aw, that's a cute tag.
That didn't work out for her.
Men,
Oh my
men
God.
will literally lock you in a tower for your own safety instead of going to therapy. That's true.
That's a good term.
But therapy would be good for both of them.
Yeah.
Yes. These sound like Cards Against Humanity cards.
And then he can't fuck self-confidence and the prehensile cock.
It's such a good series of.
Sad that's where her best writing.
They were really funny. I really enjoyed the tags.
I'm kind of glad that even if she hated this main character so much, she did give her some orgasms.
Yes,
Oh,
several.
I need to jump forward.
Mhm.
Like, when's the first time he also experiences some direct pleasure?
Okay, she has to.
Oh,
earn it.
that's
She has
chapter 15.
Chapter 15.
Yes,
There's
right, in the...
19 out of 21.
Yes.
And she has to earn it.
Yes,
earn
she has
the
to...
cock.
The third time they tentacle fuck, they get into, like, another bit of mouthy, like, back and forth, and at one point he's like, you'll get my cock when you earn my cock. They use cock a lot, they use pussy. Like, it's weird because their society seems more medieval in a way, but it was just really weird to have this Kraken man refer to it as a pussy.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Would
Yeah.
have preferred, like,
Womanhood or portal.
Well, it's something flowy.
Yeah, something more Shakespearean.
flower.
Yeah.
Lady Town.
But no, he's like, oh yeah, give me that puss.
Yes.
So the first time she sees his dick, it looks like it's massive, but to her it appears to be like somewhat human. Like it looks kind of normal-ish, except for maybe color. And-
Massive
Like
and
a human penis?
Yes.
I thought you meant,
It's
like, looked somewhat human.
No, I'm so sorry. It's a little man.
the shape is analogous to humans, but it's bigger, his skin tone, and far wetter.
Yes, and
I think he's circumcised too.
She was like, I don't know whether to be like afraid or disappointed. And then it moves, she finds out it's prehensile, and she's immediately into it.
I have several questions.
Yes.
What is his skin tone?
It's two different ones. We're gonna go off of the cover.
Blue.
His people bits is like grayish, bluish,
Blue.
and then his hair and legs are blue, dark, black.
Okay.
I have the paragraph that
Somewhat.
I have the paragraph that she sees his cock for the first time. So his tentacle hook the backs of my knees and jerk me down, sealing us together. And holy shit, there's his cock, and it's as massive as he is. We're too close for me to see it properly, but it feels just as human as his torso. I don't know if that's a relief or a disappointment. It's hard to feel anything but pleasure with his tentacles wrapping around my limbs, and then it moves. Is your cock prehensile? Is that a problem? No, oh god, absolutely do not stop. So at one point, she maybe felt disappointment at seeing this massive cock.
She's just like,
No, not that it was. Just that it was, yes.
Just that it was
Too human.
She's like, oh, I've done this before.
Yeah.
I was expecting corkscrews. I was expecting no penis at all, to be honest, because he is half squid.
I mean, squids have penises.
So it does also touch on that a little bit. They're all okay. Sorry.
Yes.
How do you think they fuck?
Carefully.
Fish do like a little lay egg, squirt stuff, leave.
Once again,
Oh,
squids aren't fish; they're cephalopods.
seahorses, the male into the female, and then the female back into the male, and the male gets to be pregnant.
Yeah.
Sexy.
The male kangaroos, the babies.
Well, I knew that about seahorses, but I didn't know there was.
That's why it's still a male seahorse, is because the egg is fertilized inside the female. But then she's like, "You take this shit." Yeah. So everyone should.
Right quick before they fuck, they finally have their first kiss.
I do just want to get a bit into Kraken ancestry because it does specify a little bit. Thank you.
Ancestry.com.
Yeah, according to Ancestry.com.
Is 23andMe.
So we know that these demons and creatures use humans to produce heirs, and that's essentially why these Kraken that we're reading about appear a little bit more humanoid, is because they do have some human blood. But at one point, Catalina asks, she's like, so at some point, a lady just fucked a normal Kraken, and Thane's like, yeah, it must have happened, which I would have preferred to read about.
Does that mean everybody within these societies are like varying levels of human? Because like some have more human blood than others.
Undoubtedly. But my question is about the gargoyles.
Yeah.
Because at some point a lady just fucked a regular statue. Some guy in Italy was like, here's my gargoyle. Let's not forget his dick.
Wait.
Other way around.
I have a solution. It was the gargoyles from the hit Disney Channel show. Gargoyles!
Oh.
They were only stoned during the day.
No, they were stoned.
During the night.
Stoned by day, hard by night.
Hard by night. Because in that show, to go off a tangent, I think the cop lady, she's a cop.
Oh yeah, Eliza Maza
she
eventually fucks
definitely
Goliath.
fucks the main gargoyle.
She fucks Goliath.
How did she earn her penis?
Being a vagina there.
Where
being sexy and
is
having
it-
tits.
So you know how
She breasted boobily.
He teaches her to swim, and she gets out real fast.
She gets naked.
Yes. She's like,
Oh yeah, that's her prize, right? Yes. It's a lot of like reward system.
yes, it is reward based.
It's like a dom sub kind of cute night.
Yeah, which is never really established up until this point. I get it, but it does, a lot of stuff kind of comes out left field when they start actually hooking up for, like, I want to say emotionally, but it's still bad.
Yeah, no, they eventually do fall and admit that they like each other once they're fucking.
They fall in like
Yeah.
Well, okay, they fall in love. Like, you have to say that
Yes.
because they say, I love you to each other at some point.
Yeah.
So, at one point, he calls her his, like, perfect little doll while they're fucking. Okay, and then she's like, use me like a doll. I'm paraphrasing. And then he thinks you're not a doll to be used for others' pleasures. Like, that's a thought that he has in his head.
I mean, she didn't sell herself for yacht money for that purpose.
But this is just a weird sequence of events, or not even events, it's just a weird sequence of thought and then what's actually said out loud. So he calls her a doll, and then she calls herself a doll, like, use me like a doll. And then he thinks, you're not a doll to be used for others' pleasures, and then he immediately calls her his doll again. So I was like, I don't...
Except for mine.
Yeah, he's all like, come on, girl, have more self-confidence. Anyway, oh yeah, my fuck doll. Fuck dolls are the word they use.
Really?
Yeah,
Yes.
they call her a fuck doll.
She's like the blow-up doll.
Yeah.
Well, that's...
Well, she gets blown up. His dick is huge.
His dick is massive, to the point where at one point they were like, he's like, I don't know if I can fit inside her.
That was another problematic bit. Was like they're comparing it, the sizes. Like, this is obscene. My cock is way too big.
Yeah, it's fine. It slips right in.
Yeah.
It gets right in there.
Hold on. How did they think that was going to work with humans under this, like, no harm clause? Because, like...
Thank you! That's what I wanted to come back to.
Like, she's just torn in half, and she's like, this is fine.
Well, because it's her opinion that matters in this case.
It
That's
shouldn't.
actually why they made it her opinion, is because he just fucking breaks her pelvis and vagina. She's like, it's fine.
Again, if I were a bargainer demon, I would, like, opinions matter. They do. In cases like this, like, in cases of,
Some people like a little pain in their pleasure.
which is okay.
Yeah.
to the point of, like, causing extreme harm, I feel like
internal organ damage.
exactly. I feel like that's where the line is drawn, because then it becomes like a liability thing. Like if you get seriously hurt, like
The
this,
lawyers are going to have a field day.
the demon lawyers might. As a bargainer demon, I would 100% have a team of lawyers, and one of those motherfuckers would be like, "Yeah, you shouldn't. Like, this should only be opinionated up to a certain point."
Yeah.
What's the point? 8 inches?
The
9
bends.
inches?
The bends.
Medical care is necessary, so Ben's psychological care counts as medical care, and then if your vagina splits open.
Yes. That's not sexy, that just hurts.
I think you would just need an addendum to your thing, like, except for in these cases, if you're really into that.
There's a quick part right before they start fucking where he's like, shit, it has been a while since I've been with somebody. I'm gonna blow my load right away.
Okay.
So then he goes into, like, what I can only call baseball stats. He's like, they're not quite fucking yet. He's finger blasting her. He starts going over this story of this legend of this queen that fell in love with a dog and had a kid with a dog. It's like a magical dog, so you can imagine it was a man dog, but it's a dog. Like, I looked up the term, what was it? What was the term?
Some lady fucked a real kraken at one point. That's why we have this kraken society.
Yes, that's what brought it up. Kunanun, that's what she fucks. This is a story he's going over in his head right before he's fucking her. He's like, alright, remember the story of the queen that fucked Kunanun but was separated from him, so she got real sad and turned into coral. And he's like, alright, I'm fucking this lady. I'm fucking Catalina. I should get back to that.
She's a magical dog in the scenario?
No,
I think he was just thinking of nuns.
Like super unsexy stuff.
He's just trying to distract himself so that he doesn't come
which
he can't finish while thinking about dogs.
Yeah. But the problem is he does this before he's actually fucking her.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Okay.
But he does have this baseball stat part. He's like, alright, think back to the story. And then he's like, fuck, she's right in front of me naked. I'm currently finger blasting her. I should get back to the task at hand.
When you said baseball stats, I was like, alright, well, I can definitely hit a home run with my dick here if I do this.
No, there's this stereotype that isn't as prevalent now, but it's like, that's how guys delay.
Oh, by thinking of baseball. Okay, that makes sense. I was so confused. They would just start naming off baseball players.
Yeah. No, it was a common trope in all of the sitcoms I watched in the 90s.
I know that's like the stat, but immediately I was like, he was gonna like tell her his numbers. That's like, normally I last an hour.
That's what I thought, but I was like, I don't remember reading any numbers, but he's like, I fucked this many bitches.
4.
And he does specify that he has had sexual partnerships after his husband's death. It's just been a while.
And he would fucking truck then too.
Yeah, he love him and leave him, pump and dump. Fucking truck.
Real quick, who's got another one?
Cracking out of here.
I always learned hump and dump. Yeah.
A good old Irish goodbye.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
After sex?
They get up and have nowhere to be found.
You want some water and you come back in and you're not there.
There's a dust outline of where she was in the air.
Just the windows open and the breeze is coming in and a sticky note
on the window. And just fingerprints all over the window as I tried to open it.
Painted shut. You're just hiding under the bed until they fall asleep.
Luckily, he does last like 5 pumps.
Yes, but she does come. She does also
in the 5 months.
Yes.
Good.
He's fucking huge.
He knows where the clit is.
And apparently that's her thing.
Okay.
Also, like, he
clips.
throbs his cock.
Likes the motion.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
More than just the motion.
Yeah.
He can throb his cock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got good Kegel action.
Good.
But with the dick.
Dick Kegels.
Dick Kegels.
Yeah. Guys have Kegels too.
And I had no idea. He does have the added advantage of knowing where the clit is, which I think he also puts into use during the pump and dump.
Yes.
He's all tentacle now, man. I don't know why he would even use his dick.
I don't know why.
This becomes an issue almost immediately, which is the next kind of troubling part of the book.
It became an issue.
Because he's raw dogfishing her.
Yes. And
well, he's trying to make an heir.
Well,
No, he's
because
not.
he doesn't.
Neither of them wants kids.
Neither of them want kids, which is okay under the clause. You can't force anybody to do anything that they don't want. At no point does he think, because she assumes she has this tattoo that is a preventative birth control thing.
She assumes she does.
Yes, that's what
he
I said.
doesn't give a fuck.
He doesn't think about birth control at all. She thinks about it. She thinks the tattoo is there for that reason.
It's actually a barcode.
Yes.
So they know which one.
Yeah, she has 2 tattoos. One for breathing underwater. No, one for translating, and one for to say that she is in a contract.
Yes,
But she got from the demon.
Yes.
And she thought that
One of those was birth control.
Yes, I don't know why.
She thought one of them was a patch.
I have
weird assumption to make.
Yes,
It's a demon worm.
I agree.
I just feel like it's a weird assumption.
I would assume you would double check, but it's like demon world. I can turn it off, on and off.
I would assume that they would be like, well, here's an IUD. Want to have kids.
Yeah. Well, it's not in her vagina, though. Here's a D.
You can set that up via the demons. You just have to talk to the demons. That will get you whatever preventative things you need.
She's bad at talking.
At no point do either of them do that.
So after they fuck, they get into a real relationship.
Yes.
They admit their feelings.
And they go through, like, emotions and, like, I went through this trauma and things like I went through this.
They stay up till 4 a.m.
Pretty much.
They also play chess. Demon chess.
Not chess is what Catalina calls it.
Not chess.
So,
Not chess, but it is chess.
It's a metaphor for them going back and forth with their words, too.
And then during that,
Accidentally, I don't think... Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. I generally don't think Katee Roberts meant for it to be a metaphor.
But during that chess scene, you're fine. During that chess scene, we get another, like, Catalina's trauma brain is like, I'm not smart enough for this game. And then she's immediately good at the game. She beats him once.
She keeps like being smart but then saying really stupid things. And sometimes on purpose, but sometimes on accident. She's just like, oh, what's this fish chess called? Not chess? Like, Catalina, I feel like you're more clever than this, but maybe you're not, though.
It's just, she's unfortunately not written well.
It has the unfortunate accident. It has the unfortunate accident that's presenting her as culturally insensitive. Because Thane presumably gives her the real words. He's like, this is whatever chess is called there. These are the what are the pieces are called. He's like, I'm not calling them that. This is chess. That's the rook. That's the king. That's the queen.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna call it chess. I don't give a fuck what your fish language is.
We already know that she's kind of insensitive. She, when they first met, was like, I don't fuck fish.
Yeah.
That is
whatever demon translator was just translating the name of the game into chess, and she's like, keep saying it's not chess. And like, just like super confused. She's like, it's not chess, it's chess. And she's like, right, not chess.
I didn't think about that. I don't think it's just like a flaw in the system.
Hey, Thane, I'm just gonna call it chess.
It's bad technology.
Okay, king, queen, pawn. Yeah, alright, cool. And she kicks his ass.
Yeah.
Once,
Yes.
just once.
Just once. But then she's like, he has to work really hard.
Yeah,
not
he has to try.
let her win again. He's like, oh, I have to try.
Against a woman.
Oh.
No.
So they play. I can't Wait. So you brought up birth control. Does she not knocked up?
Yeah.
Yes. That's the next bit. They have like the whole month is yada yada after this, and they're like, all right, let's finally have dates and shit. Hold up, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, I just want to throw in really quickly, and I feel like this is a great way for me not to talk over you. For this entire book, I didn't know how many, because she's in a contract for 7 years. I didn't know how much time had passed.
Yeah.
Before you say that, just real quick, how long does this sound to you two?
Oh, this is a good question.
I thought we were at week 3.
They yada yada over a month, so like.
I shouldn't have given that away.
Yada.
I should not have given that away.
Maybe a month and a half to 2 months.
Yeah, that's perfect. 2 months.
Ding, ding, ding.
It's been 2 months, and they have already said I love
Before
you.
that, I would have guessed about 3 weeks.
I've said it like a month in.
Oh.
I respect that about you.
But like 3 weeks? That's... You don't know. Oh, okay, never mind. You listen. You do you.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
How did it go, by the way?
I'm single.
That's not fair to ask.
What?
Oh, I'm curious.
Yeah, it's fine. Sorry, I cut you off.
I can't remember what I was going to
You
say.
were going at, the timeline.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I was incredibly confused how much time had passed. I was like, I thought maybe it had been a year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought it had been longer. Because I have commitment issues, I was like, there's no way they were going to say I love you 2 months in.
It's a romance novel.
I know.
Yeah, sometimes they get married 3 days in.
I know. To be fair to me, I haven't read a book in a while. It's been a minute, so all those tropes and everything, I have to get back to them. I was putting realistic standards on an incredibly unrealistic book. That's on me. That's my bad. Oopsie daisy. But yeah, it's been 2 months, and I remember reading that, and I was like, so she has 6 years and 10 months left of this, and in those 2 months, she has been through literal torture, and now she's pregnant, and they have both explicitly stated they don't want to have kids. And so now the author is going to put this woman, poor Catalina, through an abortion.
Oh my god. Wait, like actually?
Yeah.
No!
What do you mean, actually? Yeah. A metaphorical one?
Pregnancy termination.
I was not paying attention.
Yeah.
But, do they yada yada over it?
No, they devote a whole chapter to it.
Yeah. And the demons are, very nice about it, too. They're, one of the Barkner demons shows up. He's like, yeah, we're not going to force you to keep this kid because that is harmful.
Yeah.
But it's your choice. And then Thane starts talking, and at one point, the demon is like, yo, stop talking. It's not on you.
Oh, yeah, the witch that shows up to do the abortion.
The witch. It is a witch abortion.
Okay. They magic that baby away.
Pretty much.
Not really.
Like wizards in their
They use a potion.
But it's an abort efficient, more or less.
I guess. Yeah, he's right.
They don't teleport the fetus out of her.
That would be really... I would
Depending
have so
on
many
where
more
it goes,
questions.
it shows up.
I would have so many more questions if they did.
Oh my god.
I just feel like it was weird part to, detail.
I was astounded.
Did they give her birth control?
Yes.
Yes.
She wears an amulet.
Yeah, which...
I'm glad that everyone's
An amulet for everything.
Tangentially included in this story. Had a good head on their
Yeah, everybody around them is competent.
I can't believe that
They are not.
Kraken.
It's so fucking simple. It's an amulet she has to wear.
Really...
Here's this fucking shit we got from the Sears before it closed down. It was on sale. Should keep you from betting aboard and from pregnant.
They really should give this country over to the sibling.
The demon that came was like, why didn't you guys ask for birth control? And Thane is like, I literally didn't even think about it.
Thane is the idiot.
I was too busy blowing my load.
Yeah, he was so horny, he could not think about anything else except for boobies.
They once they finally fuck, they just start going at it. It's implied.
Yes.
That's the only sex scene that's really gone into.
Mm-hmm.
But it's implied that they're just plowing.
And I remember
Huge tracts of land.
I remember during that sex scene thinking, neither of them want kids. Did they do anything about this? No.
Mm-mm.
Nope.
And that was on purpose because in this Goosebumps novel, the real terror is not isolation.
Isolation is the real
parent.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't want to have kids.
She's okay with being locked up.
I just think it's a weird thing to include in such detail when they yada yada over other things.
Also, they have put this woman through so much.
This book is for straight suburban moms who haven't orgasmed in 8 years. That's who this book is for.
I mean, I do how they handle the abortion.
It's written at an 8th grade level, though.
But the women who she wrote this book for clearly is not going to find a lot of this behavior problematic because they're also used to this behavior. They're gonna be like, what the hell's aftercare? Why would he stick around? He rolls over and goes to bed.
For the record, they do cuddle after they fuck.
They do cuddle.
Because that's one of her requests. Is hey, if we fuck, don't leave.
She has a panic attack after he decides to stay, after she asks him to stay. And she's like, actually, you don't have to do this. I'm freaking the fuck out right now. And I was like, this poor woman.
You can leave. You should leave. He doesn't. He sticks around and they cuddle to sleep.
To be fair to him, once they get through the talking and, like, they communicate slightly, it is a better dynamic between the two of them where he does actually, like, yeah, he cares and he's like, hey, don't, like, actually voice your opinion, finish what you were gonna say, and things like that. So I do have to give it to him there. The leading up to it, terrible. So bad. Oh my god.
So he's really considerate of her and her emotion, and they start to communicate, except about birth control.
Yes. Neither of them think about it. But they both, sorry to cut you off, they both very specifically to each other said, I don't want kids. And at no point did the conversation of birth control come up there. And I'll be honest, I did read the tags, but then I forgot about the tags, and so the abortion bit surprised me, especially after everything she's been through.
This is the first romance novel I have heard of with a straight up, like, abortion scene in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't imagine
Normally
that
they have, like, miscarriage scenes. Like, that's actually when you said the tag, I expected it to be miscarriage scene.
Yeah.
No. This is a medical thing that happened.
Yes.
Which, by the by, the witch is a medical professional. She does not talk like one. It freaked me out how casual she was with it. It's like, here's these potions. Take a half dose if you need if there's pain. Take a half dose if if you want to go to sleep. And then she looks at Thane and she's like, if she needs rest, you give her that. If she wants you to fuck her brains out, you do that.
But wait at least a week.
Yes.
And then she was like, well, she might feel, like, really brittle after this, or she might not. She might be totally fine. Whatever she feels is fine.
I mean, it's an important conversation to have with your doctor how soon after an abortion.
Your witch doctor?
Yeah, I just don't want the doctor to be like, blow her fucking back out, dude.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Well, she probably knows
That was too... No, she doesn't.
Oh, okay.
She's slipping him a 20.
She's just like... she's too casual is my problem.
I was surprised by the abortion scene. I thought it was handled pretty okay.
Yeah,
it could have been worse.
Mm-hmm.
I like how it seems to have progressed, but I would have been, like, taken aback by that.
I was taken aback, but everything was Catalina's choice, which I really appreciated. Like, Thane obviously agreed with her, and at one point he stops himself from, like, saying anything because he doesn't want to have what he potentially says change her opinion in any way, which I also appreciated. But, like, I, again, felt so bad for this woman. I was like, this is... First of all, you went through isolation torture.
Yeah.
And now you're having to go through an abortion, which
in 2 months.
is not... In 2 months, exactly. Which is not, like, easy on a person, regardless of, you know... you definitely don't want to have a kid, but it's still, like, a procedure that you have to go through. It's, like, potentially scary.
And there's a lot of emotional weight that comes with that, like, having to make that decision for yourself and facing that, and, like, you don't necessarily know what a witch doctor's potions are going to do to your non-cracking body.
Yeah.
They do go over the fact that this is still a medical procedure and there might be side effects.
Yes.
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 Okay, so this is a little bit, it feels like a turn out of left field for this fantasy novel.
There's like,
fucking
she might bleed out, it's unlikely, but I have to let you know that it's a possibility.
So what happened after?
Oh, it's fine.
Did they talk about it?
She's like, no regrets, let's fuck.
Great.
Which is good. That's fine. That's a totally normal reaction to have. Yep.
Yeah. They do go over, like, it's like, hey, I don't want kids. My mom was too fucked up to me.
That's fine.
I don't want to pass that on. Yeah. And Thane also is like, if you don't want kids, that's great. But generational trauma does not mean you're any less worthy of being out there. Which is a nice thing to add.
Yes.
But, like, so they do have a little after talk about it. Okay. And then they just immediately go back to horn dogging.
Hardcore. And then,
wait, they were supposed to wait a week.
They did.
They did.
No, they waited 3 weeks. They specifically say the book ends with them being like, it's been 3 weeks since we fucked.
And she's like, I've been a good girl. Can I have a reward?
Wow.
Oh yeah, this is the book ends with a ceremony of like, hey, Embry's the ruler now. I'm gonna present you to the court as my partner, as my consort, or what have you. Whatever the royal title would be.
Doesn't that fuck up his contracts with the demons where it's specifically
not specified
he has to be the leader?
That's a great question. Okay. The book does not tell us.
Okay.
No. I was also very confused. I was like, does that mean that your territory now belongs to the bargainer demons? But obviously not, because Embry is the ruler.
Plot twist, Embry is a bargaining demon. Also,
tricky.
I was expecting like a 6-year time jump at some point.
No.
No, the book ends 2 months in.
So, like, also, that fucked What's the currency? Does her money even transfer to this world?
Yes.
None of this is explained. I don't know what happens after the 7 years is up. That's also not explained. I don't know if she has to go back.
We don't know what happens after a year is up.
We're in this a few months, and that's where we stop. So I don't know why they specified 7 years, because 7 years is not touched at all.
I'm just really okay. So usually in a plot where there's a time frame like that, it's the main content.
It's across.
You fill up that
Yeah.
time, yeah.
And again, this is just like super fucking weird because Neon Gods, which she wrote a year earlier and was 1,000 times longer than this book, had a forced proximity plotline with a time limit put on it.
Mhm.
And the whole conflict of the book was, man, first I was really glad that this was only going to be 6 weeks, and now I'm really upset that it's only going to be 6 weeks. Because I want to stay with you forever, but I can't tell you that I want to stay with you forever because it would ruin everything. And it's just, that's usually how it is in a book like that.
I give them half a year.
Yeah, same. Same. I don't think they're gonna make it the 7 years, I'll be honest.
Right.
They're living in separate towers from here on out.
It's hilarious because they're like, all right, we'll present you to the court, we'll finish up this whole hullabaloo, and then I'm gonna fuck you in a supply closet. Also, by the by, demons have supply closets.
Well, where are you gonna put your mops and your broom?
They have demon supplies.
You just hold them in some of your testicles.
Someone's gotta mop up all that water.
Testicles.
It's just not the terminology I would have thought to use.
Where would you fuck your significant other in a palace, but not a bedroom?
Coat check.
Coat check.
I'm gonna jizz on some fur.
Somebody
I'm coat
else's
for a coat.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Ugh.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm curious if one, she had any ghostwriters, or if two, this is like literally like a Jill Shalvis where she has to get out a certain number of books each year.
This book is 175 pages. I would be so annoyed if she had a ghostwriter.
It's so thin.
It's so thin, and some of the stuff is not touched upon the way that it needs to be, and some of the stuff is like really dragged on in weird ways. Like I just can't explain it. Like the parts that needed to be longer aren't, and the parts that didn't need to be longer are.
Way too long.
The fuck scene is like 4 chapters, or like the whole night of the fuck scene is 4 chapters. So a good fourth of this book is devoted to the night they finally have sex.
I have answered the question maybe just a little bit.
What's up?
So the book that I read, the
Mhm.
really long one,
Mhm.
which is part of an even longer series, was published at a publishing house.
Mm-hmm.
These ones are self-published.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? That makes sense. No one looked at
I
these
think
except for.
I think that clarifies a little bit.
Okay.
There
So,
was an editor and a copy editor, but
and someone drew the map.
yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Cover art, cover design. Okay.
So,
Okay.
to write the longer series.
So
These are just for fun.
Or to make money, honestly.
Yeah,
Just
Amazon
like,
money.
this is a side hustle.
what
Mm-hmm.
out of a 1 5-star system?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 1 to 5
Starfish.
1 to 5
That's right.
starfish.
How many starfish would you give this stuff?
You know how starfish are able to like heal themselves from like
Yeah, like
Just-
you rip their arm off
yeah.
and grow a new one.
just the new one kind of half growing into a new body. Just the
Just
one
still
arm.
one tentacle
yeah.
growing a
Yeah.
whole new
Yeah.
body.
Yes.
I'm gonna be a little bit more generous because while it was like hard to read some of the stuff, it wasn't actually badly written, like grammatically wise. Like everything flowed pretty okay.
Yeah.
Each sentence had a verb.
Yeah.
Okay.
A punctuation was where it needed to be.
Did she use the Oxford comma?
Yes, she did.
Okay.
Which I appreciate. I love a good Oxford
Yes.
comma. Oh my god.
All my homies love the Oxford comma.
It's a prerequisite to be.
I'll give it 1 starfish.
1 whole star.
1 starfish for myself.
Okay.
Like, maybe you give it more starfish, but I thought it was 1 starfish's worth of stars.
All right.
This will lead me to the next question. If you were going to recommend something to read instead of this, what would you recommend?
If you want another unnecessary lengthy romance that you're not sure if they're really romantic, but is pretty to look at, what's that one series with Fiona Staples and damn it, why can't I remember the name now?
Just Google it.
Saga. Saga's great.
Oh, Saga is great.
That was a dumb lead up to Saga because I genuinely like Saga.
Yeah.
Read Saga.
Okay, my recommendation is going to be Life of Puppets.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
really a romance novel. There is no sex.
Yeah, but TJ Clean's just really good.
It is adorable. There is a romance in it.
Yes.
It is just not the purpose of the book. It's a coming-of-age book. And robots.
I mean, I'll also recommend Neon God because it is by the same author, but I enjoyed it way more than...
You didn't read this one, though.
I didn't read this one, but I actually can already tell I wouldn't enjoy it. So, like, I will recommend her other much lengthier book, which had a lot of the same plot elements. Like, it's very dom-sub heavy. There are 3 or 4 orgies. And it's just really good. It would be solid. And that relationship actually had chemistry.
I'm gonna recommend this. Okay, so I haven't actually read the books, but it's a TV show based off of the books on Netflix called Shadow and Bone, which is it's a YA series, which I like. I really like the show, so I'm eventually gonna go and read the books when I stop procrastinating. But I think there's only like 3 book series so far.
I've heard really good things about it.
I did hear that TV show is different than the books.
Oh.
So you have to mentally accept that.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's okay.
You also have to mentally accept that you're going to be reading another physical book.
I mentally accepted this. I mentally accepted the Kraken
Did you?
sacrifice.
Through the filter that we have presented you of my and Polo's understanding of this book,
What do you think the sacrifice was?
Well, in reality, what I think it is that he had to, like, actually grieve and resolve the death of his past. I mean, they don't
that's a
touch
good
that.
answer.
But in reality, what it is that he is opening himself up to another relationship, and the sacrifice is, like, in some way actually putting his husband to rest because he's kept that relationship alive even though the other half of it isn't there. Now, did they go into that? Not so much.
I would love to read that book.
That would have been great.
Wrong answers only. I would say she's the sacrifice, and he's gonna fucking sacrifice her.
That pussy.
Every day. Yeah, it is her vagina.
The sacrifice was that he didn't come once until chapter 15.
I have an answer. The answer was the sacrifice that everybody else made in dealing with these 2 people.
It was the cook. It was the cook. He is the sacrifice.
We just didn't get to read that scene either. I would have rather read that scene too. So do you recommend this on the whole to anybody?
She has 4 other books in this series.
Yeah.
She tells you to read the other ones. Say, hey, what do you think Assassin was doing during this whole time? Read my other books.
I would like to read the dedication
Oh, please
of
do.
this book.
Please
Okay.
do.
This book is dedicated to every person who asked why there wasn't DP in the Dragon book.
Which is weird because there's no DP in this book.
There is no DP in this book.
What is...
Dr. Pepper.
Double penetration.
Oh, shit. God damn it.
Does he at some point penetrate her with both his prehensile cock and a tentacle?
Oh, just the mouth and vagina. So I guess that... No, wait.
No, I think he touches booty a little
Two
bit. I think
tentacles at once.
he might touch booty a little bit.
But he, like, just around her ass.
Yeah.
Doesn't go in.
That I don't think is what most.
No, I want
No.
double penetration.
1 hole, 2 tentacles.
That's right.
I would...
Or 2 holes, 2 tentacles.
There we go.
I personally expected prehensile penis and one of his tentacles in the vagina.
Oh,
Yeah.
there was no room.
That would be a lot.
It's
There-
too big.
Yeah, he
But she's
literally
so,
would have
like-
split her in half. It was in more than his
It
massive
does-
cock.
Your forearm, see there? Bigger.
Well, I mean, yeah.
2 forearms.
This is not a very big monster cock.
2 forearms.
This is an acceptable monster.
Jesus Christ.
That's his
Next
so
week
bad.
on Jolene and her forearms.
Would I recommend this to anyone? If you want to feel like you're anger banging a book, then I would pick this up.
That's a good recommendation.
Marco.
Can you end it with your suctioning noise? Because that one's good.
Yeah.
All on your
I
clit,
can
girl.
do it.
I don't like it.
Perfect.
I don't like that.
That book was rough. I can't believe Marco and Polo actually read that book twice. What crazy nonsense are you bringing to the pod next time?
Next time, we're finally debuting our new equipment, which means better audio with the Space Raptor Butt Trilogy by Dr. Chuck Tingle.
We really need 3 books to talk about a dinosaur's ass?
Find us on Instagram at Womanly Portal Podcast.
Email us at womanlyportalpodcast@gmail.com.
Thanks goes out to Chloe Watts for our music.
And a special thanks to Seaman for editing this hot garbage.
Okay, now you try it.
All right.
I don't think I got it.
spill your tea all over your boobies.